Report from the Denver Basic Income Project shows its new cash program is working to help people who are experiencing homelessness.
So far, this first of its kind program in Denver says it's given monthly cash deposits to more than 800 unhoused people. The project says there are no conditions on how the money is spent, but most recipients prioritize the basics: rent, groceries, transportation. Maria Sierra, who runs the project's community engagement, says those receiving financial help call this a lifeline.
People started to feel less stressed, worrisome about what they were going to do the next month for housing or to meet the needs that they had, but also to be able to spend time and do things that cultivated joy and happiness. I get emotional within their family.
And the project says it will keep studying the effects of this cash for the rest of this year. And then they plan to put out a more detailed report on it in October.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. All praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. That is to say, in the name, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus, a so-called black man. No strings attached. No strings attached. Free money. Esau is handing out free money in this Dbip, Denver Basic Income Project, that they are running a year-long experiment on, and the results are coming back that by no surprise that these people are, glad to get this money, no strings attached. And that's how Esau Edom is moving now. He's using these gins and snares without strings because he can just hand you something, freely, and he know majority of the people will come down there and take it. So he doesn't necessarily need to use a string to set the bait inside and have you step in and catch you. He can just go, how shall we say, wireless, If you get what I'm trying to say, he can just go wireless. Now he doesn't need any strings to capture you. He can have no strings attached. So this is from the website Axios.com, and it reads the headline: Denver's Universal Basic Income Project reports early success. A midterm report from the Denver Basic Income Project found giving people experiencing homelessness free money is a meaningful way to improve their lives. Driving the news. The report released Wednesday found people receiving money with no strings attached are benefiting significantly by using it to pay for groceries and other bills. Others are using it for expenses like obtaining housing, rent, cars, and paying significant debt. Why it matters. The program's success so far could mean it continues after its initial 1-year period. What they're saying. What we can conclude from the mid-year report is how much hope this has provided to the unhoused community. Andre Cunningham, co-chair of the DBIP's advisory board, tells us. Context. The 846 participants, who included both sheltered and unsheltered people, are broken up into 3 groups. One group gets $1,000 for 12 months, another gets $6,500 for the first month and will get $500 for the remaining 11, and the final gets $50 for a year. While people who receive $50 a month reported feeling frustrated, many still said it was helpful to have the extra cash. Between the lines, only 24 people were interviewed for the midterm report, 8 from each of the 3 groups. About 3 to 4 months into the program, the spending was self-reported by participants, with some saying they used it to celebrate with non-essentials like a concert ticket, dining out, or buying an outfit. Cunningham said measuring success will mean seeing whether the program helped meet people's basic needs, like ensuring someone has housing, food, or transportation. Maria Sierra, DBIP's community engagement manager, said during a press briefing on Wednesday, it's not clear yet how many people use the money to secure permanent housing. Yes, but some people struggle to decide how to spend the money, feeling tension between suddenly having it and the responsibility to use it effectively. So you can see from this article that, they gave three groups three different amount of money in this basic income project, and all three was able to, use it how they see fit according to their needs, And the group that received the money that was less desirable according to the other two groups, which was the $50 group, even though they were still somewhat frustrated, they still was glad that they got something. So you can see, even with no strings attached, that this man can still capture the imagination, of even the most frustrated people. Because even with a $50 extra a month incentivized, people still going to take it. Because they could figure out something to do with that $50. Whereas you get somebody who's getting, $1,000 extra a month, those people, who knows what they can do with that. And even for the ones that got a large lump sum in the beginning, that $6,500, and then receive $500 after that, the snare has been set, has been sprung. All you have to do is go down there, sign up, get this money, and do with it as you will. So, no strings attached, free money, it sounds good initially, but we all know where it's going to lead to, because you're going to have to sign up and receive that device, that aid, in order for you to get that. And with that new Fed Now that they just rolled out, it can easily be, predicted that somehow they're going to use this Fed Now system to have the people who want to receive this basic income as an introduction to the MOB come down, sign up, receive either a phone, a government phone, so you can have this app on your device to receive this money monthly. Or if you already have it, you just download it and put your information in, and you will receive the money to your device. So it's easy to see where they're going at with this DBIP, Denver Basic Income Project, which can be adopted by the whole country and eventually the whole world, because we see where inflation and these high interest rates are going at right now, especially here in America, where things that you would have got a few years ago is close to double that price today. So who wouldn't use a little bit of help? Even if it's $50 compared to somebody who's getting $6,500 and then $500 every month after that, or $1,000 a month. Who wouldn't need a little help here and there? And that's how they're gonna, utilize this strategy. So, no strings attached, that's bullcrap, because in the end, you're gonna have strings attached where you can't get away or run. Once you get that device, that's it. You're gonna go wireless, but you ain't gonna go that far, because you're gonna be attached to this system, and that's gonna be it for you. So let's get a few scriptures and let's take it from there. All right, this is Isaiah 31, and let's just start from the top. And it reads, the top of it reads, help not in Egypt, but in the Most High. Verse 1, woe to them that go down to Egypt for help, and stay on horses, and trust in chariots because they are many, and in horsemen because they are very strong. But they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek Yahweh. Right. And a lot of people are going to go down to Egypt, meaning, in this situation, America, the government or whatever branch that they're going to have set up for people to come down and to receive this free money. They're going to go and get that. And we know eventually that's going to translate over into receiving that mark. So they just gradually getting you ready for that. They just measuring the temperature in the room, as they say. They seeing how many people are willing to accept this free money, no strings attached, because they know with a large sample size, they can see once the crisis take place, they can see how the whole country is going to need that device. So this is just a test, and this is what they do. They run tests, they get the results, they go back, they recalibrate, they go from there, and then they strategically plan for the next, event. So it says, woe to them that go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses and trust in chariots because they are many, and in horsemen because they are very strong. And we know that this economy, is one of the strongest economies that's currently going right now. This dollar, which is the world reserve currency, is at its peak, but it's getting ready to decline steadily. And that's by design, because they want you to come down there for help, because they know eventually when they really get this ball going that everybody's going to come, because they're going to be used to receiving that free aid, no strings attached, until you got to get that no strings attached, which is going to go inside your right hand or in your forehead. So it says, because they are very strong, but they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek Yahweh. Right. Because when they had the time to seek Yahweh, they didn't. So now they left to rely on this man and his system for their needs and wants. Verse 2. Yet he also is wise and will bring evil and will not call back his words, but will arise against the house of the evildoers and against the help of them that work iniquity. This is Yahweh speaking of, because he is wise also. He put this whole thing into motion, to weed out who is the elect and who isn't, who's going to fold under the pressure and who's going to be tried like that gold, and refined from all the impurities. So it says, yet he also is wise and will bring evil, because there's a price to pay once you go down there and receive that final payment from Egypt. Once you take that final solution, which is spoken of in Revelation 13, then there's a what? There's a price for you to pay for that. And he's not going to call back his words, because his words will not come back void. He said it, it's going to happen. So let's read that from the top again of verse 2. Yet he also is wise and will bring evil and will not call back his words, but will arise against the house of the evildoers and against the help of them that work iniquity. Now the Egyptians are men and not the Most High, and their horses flesh and not spirit. When Yahweh shall stretch out his hand, both he that helpeth shall fall, and he that is hoping shall fall down, and they shall fall together. And they all shall fall together. So the Egyptians are men. They're not the Most High. They don't have power. And the horses are flesh and not spirit. See? The Most High's horses, chariots, they're spiritual. They have powers that these regular horses from Egypt couldn't even dream of, So you seeing through the eyes of, secular, meaning like you don't have any spiritual faith, you're going to go down there and get whatever remedy that they have for you. Like the basic income, for example. It's going to start off with something simple and meaningless, like just coming to get free money. And then a crisis is going to break out where now inflation is going up, interest rates are going up. Now you can no longer afford, the finer things, or just the easy, simple things, getting groceries, paying your bills. Now you need a little extra money coming in so you can stay afloat and live that standard of life you've been so used to for the past years. So now you're going to easily go down and get that extra money, which is going to translate into that digital money, which is going to translate into that mark. So you got to see the wiles that this man is coming in, So it's easy to see the transition that we getting ready to partake in. If you have the eye of discernment, the eye of Sal. So you can only get that from reading scriptures and having understanding. So this is Psalms 140, verse 1. To the chief musician, a psalm of David. Deliver me, O Yahweh, from the evil man. Who is that? Esau Edom. Preserve me from the violent man. Esau Edom. Which imagine mischief in their heart. That's their mind. Speaking of Esau Edom, the so-called white man. Continually are they gathered together for war. And this is what they live for, war, man. They orchestrate and design war so they could be justified in bringing in whatever, result that they see fit for the world. And they have these things that they do, which are called think tanks, where they plan out the next 10, 15, or however many years that they see the world going into, And some of them are like the World Economic Forum. That's where you see some of the elite that get together and plan on how they want to shape the world for the next few years. So it says, 3, they have sharpened their tongues like a serpent. Adder's poison is under their lips. Salah. So even though they tell you no strings attached, they got something for that, though. They not letting you get free money with no strings attached for nothing. No, you're going to have to give something to them on the back end. So up front, they're going to give you the free money, no strings attached, hoping that in the long run, you're going to get like a junkie who relies on a drug dealer for a fix to come back time after time. So they can give it to you the first they can give you the first hit for free because they know it's so good that you're going to get hooked on it and want to come back and be a repeated customer time after time. So they can give you the first hit for free, no strings attached. Because once you get accustomed to getting that free money and keeping up your lifestyle, then you're going to be easily persuaded to get the next hit and the next hit, and to that next hit lead to that final hit. Like I said, we're going to get that final hit in the scriptures and Revelation. So it says, they have sharpened their tongues like a serpent. Adder's poison is under their lips. Salah. Keep me, O Yahweh, from the hands of the wicked. Preserve me from the violent man, who have purposed to overthrow my goings. The proud have hid a snare for me, and cords. They have spread a net by the wayside. They have set gins for me. Salah. So you see this gin they setting, this snare is an introduction to basic income. Yeah, it's just a project that is being tried in Denver, but you can easily see a president or a candidate who's running for president use this in their campaign as interest rates are raising and inflation is on the rise, that, hey, Why don't we hit the economy with another stimulus, but not just a one-time payment? According to the tax bracket of each individual in America, we can give them something substantial for the whole year according to how much they make. Whether it's what, $1,000 a month, whether it's a large lump sum followed by a medium-sized payout for the rest of the year, or whether it's just something small for them to take. It's easily obtainable how you can see this being introduced into someone who's running for the House, the Senate, president, or whoever campaign to get a vote for the people to accept this. And who's going to turn down free money? Especially with the cost of living steadily rising. No one. And that's what this man is banking on. He's banking on his ability to create, the Hegelian dialectic. What is it? Cause the problem, wait for the reaction, and then present the solution, So it's easy to see this man working this into his agenda, because we know where it's going at eventually, what it's going to lead to. Those of us who are in the truth and continue to abide there, we can already see what it's going at. This is just to keep us on our toes. So that we don't be, get thrown off or get taken by surprise. All right. So let's go to Ephesians 6, and let's read something about this man. All right, so this is Ephesians 6, and let's start at 11. Put on the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. And let's go into that word wiles and see what that means.
Strong's G 3180, Methodiah.
And it reads, well, let's go to the root word. From a compound of G3326 and G3593. Method. This is this man's method. So you can see the method that's behind this. It's going to be one that's going to walk you into the path of the MOB. So then we go into the outline of biblical usage, and it says cunning arts, deceit, craft, trickery. So this is this man's wiles. This is how he gets you. This is his method. He knows he can give you something free up front and then get something back from you on the back end. Because like I said, once he gets you hooked, you're going to keep coming back and back. Because you ain't going to know how to kick that habit. Who going to turn down money? Majority of the people don't know how to turn down money. Free money too? Come on, man. So back to Ephesians 6:11. Put on the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles, the method, the cunning, the trickery, the deceit of the devil, the deceiver, Esau, Edom. Because we know he coming with something. It's only a matter of time. He's not setting up all this infrastructure just to have it sitting out there in no man's land. No, he's putting together these pieces of a puzzle. So once they all come together, he can set it up, have it orchestrated, and you be part of it. Because he knows there's going to be people that come against it, who's going to oppose against it. So he has to do it in such a manner where the majority of the people will accept it. Even given the fact that there are people out there that's, coming against him. He still has to give it to you in a way that you will freely accept it. A method that you can accept it and see it in. So he has but a little time, but he's going to make sure that time that he has is going to be well spent on promoting this agenda that he's getting ready to come forward with. Verse 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. And like I said, this man in his think tanks, they go in secret in these councils, and then they come back with these events that lead to their agenda for the people. The ones that they allow you to see, they've already planned years ahead of time. So you being able to know about the WEF is nothing that they didn't want you to know about. It's the ones that you can't see that they still have to this day in play. Those are the ones that you need to be concerned about, and that's why you have to be in this word, so you be protected in that time. 13, wherefore take unto you the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all to stand. So that's why we got to stay in this faith, so we can have this armor on, and we don't be out there naked without our garments on. Because he want to catch you without anything on, so he can give you his shelter, his clothing, and his food. That's what he wants to get you. He wants you to be unprotected, so you can go down to him. Woe to them that go down to Egypt. He wants to provide you with all the essentials. He don't want you to look on the Holy One of Israel. That's what he wants to do. So this is 2 Corinthians 2:11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Even though he tells us no strings attached, free money, we know he's leading to a wireless attachment that's going to be placed in your right hand or in your forehead. Let's go there and get that. Revelation 13:16. And he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And he causes all because he staged everything for himself to cause it. It's nothing that he hasn't thought about in advance, that he's led up to that time that he didn't do on purpose. No, he decided everything. But ultimately, the Most High let him do that so that this word will go out and not come back void. And he's setting this man up high, so when he bring him down, there's no doubt that the Most High did all this. Yahweh Bahashem, in the name Yahweh Shai. And that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. So once you receive this mark, you're going to receive everything encapsulated in it. You're going to worship the beast, his image, and you're going to receive the number. All in once you take this mark. And there's no turning back. You can't take this snare and then try to undo it once it's been put in you. That's it. Pursuant to Revelation the 14th. In the 9th chapter, doomed for worshipers of the beast. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, if you receive it in your forehead or in your hand, what will happen? The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. So you're going to be tormented. You're going to receive that judgment. That's it. You're going to drink that cup of indignation, because you're going to be left down here when this place, which is America, spiritually Babylon, is put into a lake of fire from those nuclear missiles that's coming to wage war and judgment on this place for all its iniquities that it has done in the years that have went up to heaven, and now this place has to pay for its sins. So once you partake in that judgment, that's it. You got that mark in your hand, that's it. And it all started with you coming down there and getting a free handout, no strings attached. Now it led to you receiving that mark, and now you have to drink that cup of wrath, the indignation. So let's go ahead and close it out and let's take it from there. 1 Peter chapter 5, and let's start it and let's read at verse 8. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. And that's part of his wiles, his method, is seeing who he can devour, And if he has to give a little something to receive a lot, he gonna give you a little something, because to him, the money ain't real anyways. It's not backed by anything. It's just backed by a promissory IOU. There's nothing backing this thing, except for if you want to continue to live on his grid and play by his rules, then you got to take his signet, his mark, and put it inside you. That's the only thing he has that's backing this, is your fear of not being able to continue to live the life you've lived for the past however many years you've been on this earth. Now he's giving you an ultimatum. Either you take this and allow me to be your God, or you believe in your power and you don't take this and see how far you can get on your faith alone. This is the test. And it's gonna try the whole earth. Pursuant to, let's get that in Revelation. Chapter 3 and verse 10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. So this thing is going to go global. But only here in America, Babylon, is where it's going to be. Judgment is going to completely wipe this whole landmass off the face of the earth. There's nothing that's going to be left once those missiles come and demolish this place. But everybody on this earth is going to be tried with this mark, So you have to be sober and vigilant, and keep his word and fight the good fight. Because if you slip up, fall out this faith, and in the wrong time, you be caught up in this devil's wiles, then you're gonna be left to taste that cup, that wrath of indignation, So hopefully, with that being said, somebody took something from this. If it be the Lord's will, until the next time, stay strong, stay in the faith. We almost home. Shalom.